Hello, my name is Bear J. This is Black Desert Mobile Strategy Channel exclusively for F2P players. This is the fourth video under the title of First 30-Day Strategy for F2P Players. And there is a second video for the camp. And last time we talked about how to build a camp to the fullest capacity and why it is important to have the camp to the fullest capacity especially for the F2P players. And after I watched that video, after I created everything, I realized that I made kind of wrong impression on one point. That yes, this is a money cow. Then the camp will be able to make you so much money now with the resources the workers collect, and also later on with the world trading. However, sorry. However, I'm not asking you to sell all the resources that the workers gather as you gather them. You want to kind of have them under your belt in case you need to do something with them, such as the forging some of the craftable goods and potions, and there are, see what you can build here. There are potions, craftables, and there are, so that you can, with a blacksmith, you can craft some weapons and armors and whatnot. So I'm not suggesting that you should sell everything, because if you actually need to sell them, you can put them on the market and it'll sell fast. I mean fast. So you can kind of use that as a bank. Don't sell your resources when you don't need them, because you can sell them anytime. Keep them because you might need them for something else, but it can be converted into the cash at any time. And also, some of the craftables, those you cannot sell, but potion, you could craft them and sell them. And also the weapons and armor can be crafted and sell them. And it is not always good idea to sell them because the price in the market changes all the time, especially depending on the demand. So if you decide to do so, make sure that you are creating something that you can sell at the maximum price. Do not waste your resources in creating something that you cannot sell. And also, like potions, not all the potions are sellable. Some of the potions can be sold in the market. Some of them are not. So make sure the potions that you create are sellable items before you go full blown and create some potion and decide to sell them more on the market. So if you decide to craft something and sell it, make sure that the market is at the maximum price that you want. And other than that, just keep your resources, and if you want to convert them to silver coins later, you can do so anytime. And those can be used to exchange with other things, especially in the world trade, which is not available in the beginning. It will be later, and there will be another big source for the silver coin for the F2P players. So having said that, we talked about why the camp is important and also how to build and upgrade your camp to the fullest. Once you have the camp that is developed into fullest capacity with the 25 workers, then you need to do something about it to make the money. The one thing that I am concerned about is NOD. I have NOD is some concept that came from the Black Desert Online, and I don't have much experience on it. And from what I'm seeing, it does not really have too much loot to begin with that is useful. So I'm just doing the basic that I can, so I can be up to par with other players. But this is not very productive at this point. But I am not going to stop you because I do not know about this part. So if you decide to go full blown and not by all means knock yourself out, but I just don't have anything to tell you about NOD at this point. Um, uh, but this is kind of going slow. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so once you have everything, you have to decide the which building. Once you reach the full capacity, there are a couple buildings that you have to build more. Are the refinery, because refine the black stones that is created right now is a lot more valuable than later on in the game, and so you want to have the refinery at level 10 and harvest blackstone as much as you can. Also, food storage, because food is abundant right now. If you have a free garden, which you will at the full capacity, and if you're producing constantly, you will not have enough food storage to store them. Um, but whenever you have a chance, you want to make sure you plant the seed and keep your food at the maximum level. And all the fishes and all milk and the eggs that you get from the ranch, you want to put them in the storage for the time when the food shortage will come, which will come later, especially with the world trade. Um, I wanted to also talk about what kind of workers to get. So there are, if you go to pub, you will see a different level of workers, starting with white and green, blue, purple, and also yellow. There are two ways to approach this. You can either buy a high level, either yellow or purple in the beginning to have your building up the camp faster and sell them. You'll be able to sell them later. If you're going to the worker and going to each worker, you will be able to fire them. If you fire them, you will get your contribution point back, and you will be able to buy a low level worker. You can do so just to kind of expedite your the building your camp to the maximum capacity. However, your rule of thumb is that you want to start to get all the worker at green level. If you get the green level within about 2 weeks or within about a week or two, all the workers will have this arrow, upward arrow, with a level 20. And then you can spend 2 more contribution points to get to blue level. Why do you want to get the green level if you can get the better worker? Because your objective here is getting a steady level of workers throughout. Because when you send out workers to gathering, you the once you send them out, the different workers have a different hour, different amount of time they will spend to complete the work. And since you cannot come to your camp all the time, and you want to make this camp as set and forget, if you have a same color of the workers throughout, then the finishing time will be similar. So you can come on one time and harvest everything for the workers and send every out to gather more at the same time, rather than coming back time and over again to send them to work. So, and also when you're looking at the workers, and when you're looking at the workers to pick, you can there are some statistics here, and vitality, strength, and dexterity. Um, the those two are really irrelevant, because it is how fast you can build the buildings and whatnot. In the beginning, you don't really need those. Vitality is something that you need to be looking at. The higher vitality means shorter time to complete the same task, and they will bring in the more resources. So try to pick the one that is a high vitality in the beginning, get everything in green, and then you will start to have the same level of workers there, so you do not have to come back to camp as often, and you can save some of your time. And as you hire more workers, and if you start to just hire better workers from the beginning, then you will be running out of your contribution point. You have only a set number of the contribution point that you will be collecting, and if you have, then later on you're not going to be able to reach 25 workers with your contribution point. So as you play the game, you should be starting to collect those contribution point on every quest that you do and every little the test that you do. The way to check that is if you go to your bag and go to my info and go to contribution, then you have to have all this contribution experience to jump to the next level. For me, to go from 31 to 32. If I do, I will have 8. With this 8, I'll be able to make all the workers blue. But for you to get to that level, you will have to, after about, right now I've been in the game for about 2.5 weeks or so. I have two classes, one class all the way to the max level, second class at level 50, I believe, and I did everything I could to get the contribution point maxed out. So even then, I could not get everybody on blue. So make sure that you get green in the beginning, and you can always upgrade them to the blue and purple as time goes on. And one of the quick tips for getting a life scale, and then not life scale contribution point, is that when you go to NPC with go to town, each NPC has a mark on it, and there are NPCs with this mark on it. If you go to those NPC, you will be able to go into Amity. And Amity, this one doesn't have it. Amity actually has a quest here. And if you go into the quest in the beginning, each NPC will have about 3 or 4 quests for it. And those Amity quests are the one that carries a lot of contribution, usually about over 300 points. So if you need to build up your contribution experience to hire the better workers, then make sure that you go to all the towns from starting from Valia, Western Guard Camp, whatnot, and then go through them and make sure you do all those Amity quests, so you can maximize on your contribution point, and you will have a better workers for yourself. And another thing is another NPC that is not very obvious with the Amity quest are the ones that has those circled exclamation mark. Some of them has the Amity quest, but it just does not show. So make sure that when you're going around the town, you check out those NPC with this mark on it. This one doesn't have it, but some of them actually does have it. So let's do that. And also, for you to, if you go back to the camp, when you send out your workers together, as I mentioned, you will have an option for 2 hours and 4 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours. It will be added as you increase your life skills. Your life skills can be checked out at your bag, my info, and right here. To reach up to 16 hour, you need to have each of them at skilled level 5. I just reached it yesterday. So the you wanna when you go into this, and if the 16 hours cannot be used, it will be shaded out and it's gonna say what life skill is needed here. So you wanna develop your life skill by phrasing and mining and logging in logging with your stamina. And I usually go to Hyro to use my automatic life skill. So this, if I click on this one, it's gonna go to any 3 of them that is available near me, and you can actually slide it up, and you will be able to choose if there's a specific one that you want, and like that. And now this is gonna be logging. Now I do not have a Camp Plus. I would recommend you to wait on your to use the Camp Plus, which you will be given by the event here and there, and save up your portions, green portions, as much as possible before you increase on your life skills. Um, uh, Before you use your staminas from the bottle. The staminas that is given on as time passes, you use everything every day to build the life skill on that day. But the bottles, keep saving them and put them on your storage until you have a good amount of them. Um, until you have a good amount of them, so you can use them with a Camp Plus, which can be given to you later on in the game by the event. And if you do so, you will only use 3 staminas per logging, mining, or those gathering work. But without the Camp Plus, it's going to be 5 stamina. So like I had, save them in your storage, and if you have enough, that's when you use Camp Plus. So you can upgrade all the gathering hours to the 16 hours eventually, and so you don't have to come to the camp as much as possible, so you don't have to waste your time. And also, I think this will be my last one today for the camp. The daily task, you will have the notification here to collect this harvest the plant, and depending on how much food you have, you can try to plant some seed here. I'll try to just use up those white one. I usually don't use them, but I have enough food right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use up those seeds that I don't want to have in my bag anymore, and so on and so forth. So, and also you want to look for all this hand sign, which will give you the camp loots. And see, there are also those, and you will also see those NPC that will give you a small quest to complete. And sometimes they will ask for the resources from you. Sometimes they ask you to do something. You decide if you want to do it or not, and make sure whenever you see this, you accept it, even though you don't want to do it. And if you don't want to do this, you exit out, because if you don't do that, that NPC will be always there, and the other NPC will not appear. So if there's an NPC that's giving you the quest that you don't like, make sure accept it and erase it, so you can have other NPC with a task that you like to do. That is it for today. I'm not sure if I covered everything for the camp. I might gonna have a third video later on just to cover the ones that I missed. If there's anything that I missed or that you want me to cover, go ahead and leave a comment. That's it for today. This is Bear J for Black Desert Mobile Strategy channel. I'll be coming back with more videos. Thank you.